watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good morning. Starting off with a live look outside this morning. This is from the wharf. A wet start to the morning, but we are looking to have a nice, dry weekend ahead. Who's not looking forward to that? And we're also looking forward to it today because it is Friday. Thank you for starting your Friday with us here on DC News Now. It is 6 o'clock now. I'm Tanaya Wright.
Yes, happy Friday. We made
it finally.
I'm Shanika Grimshaw filling in for Corey James this morning. We're going to talk to Brittany Ward, and you're in for Jackie Laird. Now, it is going to be a nice, dry weekend. Is it going to be comfortable?
Yeah, it's going to be very comfortable. We're looking at the 60s and even 70s, but we do have to get through the rain at least through today. So stepping out the door, just make sure you have the umbrella on hand, especially further off to the north and west. Radar kind of showing you the last hour across portions of the DMV. Yes, we are still holding on to soggy conditions. So if you're in Hagerstown right now, Charlestown, West Virginia, even Berryville, Virginia, you guys are seeing some light drizzle at this hour. And then further off south in towards Virginia, we're starting to see that rain work its way into Middleburg. So do keep that in mind when heading out the door.
All right, taking a look at the roads. Now we're going to start in Northern Virginia. You are looking good and clear out there. That's 95 right out of Springfield. Overall, you're seeing green roadways, not much happening there. You're seeing the Capitol Beltway, the big circle there, top side, lower side in the district, and DC 295. Now we are seeing a closure. We had an earlier crash with poles and wires down, and that is right in Fairfax off of Braddock Road, right between Belmont and Benton Brook Drive. So expect significant delays. Expect to take a detour heading again both east and west.
Developing now, Prince George's County Police are investigating a shooting that happened at a LA Fitness in Glenarden. Yeah,
this comes as the county is seeing a trend in gun violence. Yamari Sase, she is live on the scene where it all happened. Good morning, Yamari.
Yeah, good morning. This tragic shooting that happened in a safe space, that's what many people call the gym. And unfortunately, that's no longer safe. Just take a look right now. Several people are in front of the LA Fitness trying to figure out why it is not open at this moment. They're supposed to open around 5 a.m., but apparently they're not going to open up until 10 a.m., all because of this incident. Now, this shooting just adds on to the increasing deadly shootings that we've been seeing across Prince George's County, and it's only increasing. Many people who came to this LA Fitness in Woodmore Town Center were confused when the gym was not open. And that's because of a shooting that happened Thursday night. Now at this time, it's not clear what led up to the shooting or whether the shooting happened inside or outside the gym. But this incident only adds on to the violent week we're seeing in Prince George's County. Earlier on Thursday, there was a shooting in Oxon Hill that killed a man. And hours later, someone else was shot at a Bolero in College Park. And there was also a deadly shooting in Chillum. Also this week, 2 people were stabbed to death, one in Chillum and another one in Lanham. Police say they've made arrests for these 2 cases. And just adding on to the ongoing violence, 2 teens were arrested for shooting a Prince George's County police officer this week in Upper Marlboro. Luckily, the officer was not injured. And now, Thursday's shooting at the famous LA Fitness in Glenarden definitely has people on edge.
It's a time and place for stuff like that. You don't do that in a place of business. You don't even do that on the streets. So, you know, it's pointless. Might just have to start having security check the guys in the basketball court, or when people come in, check their bags. You know, basically, that's the only thing they probably can do.
Yeah, so I actually just spoke to the manager of the LA Fitness. He tells me that the gym is closed off for today. Now, we're going to continue to follow the story and gather as much information for you. But according to police data, deadly shootings have already increased by 21% compared to this time last year. For now, reporting live in Glenarden, I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.
Thank you, Yamari. Well, 2 men are facing charges after being accused of kidnapping a man, stealing luxury items from his home in Virginia, and then dropping him off in Maryland. Court documents say the victim agreed to sell a pair of sneakers to Timothy Williams outside of his condo in D.C. in February. However, when the meetup happened, 2 men approached the victim and forced him into the back of a car and tied him up. Documents say Williams and another man, Javon Archer, took the victim to his second home in McLean and stole more than 200 pairs of sneakers and $100,000 in cash. Afterwards, they dropped him off in District Heights.
And the number of opiate deaths is hitting a record high in the district. That's according to the Office of Chief Medical Examiner. They're reporting over 500 deaths just last year, and that's an average of 43 deaths per month. The Medical Examiner's report shows fentanyl became the most common overdose drug in 2017. In 2016, fentanyl was involved in 62% of overdose deaths, and in 2017, that number jumped to 96%. And taking a look at this graph right here on your screen, you can see how opiate-related deaths in the district have been trending upwards for the last decade. The report also reveals that about 71% of all opiate overdose deaths were among people between the ages of 40 and 69. Opiate-related deaths are more common among men, and black people account for about 84% of all. And in the last few years, the district has worked to cut down on opiate use. This includes a pilot program launched last year to put life-saving tools like Narcan in vending machines around D.C. The city also has 4 substance abuse prevention centers.
Your time right now is 6:05. Former NFL star O.J. Simpson has died after battling prostate cancer. His family made the announcement on social media yesterday. He was 76 years old. Simpson was selected #1 overall in the NFL draft in 1969 and was named MVP in 1973. His legacy was forever changed by the 1994 murders of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman. TV coverage of his arrest after a slow-speed chase grabbed the nation's attention. He was charged with first-degree murder. A jury found him not guilty after what was dubbed the trial of the century, watched by millions around the world.
Remember these words: if it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder.
In 1997, Simpson was found liable for the deaths, paying more than $33 million to the family members of Brown and Goldman. A decade later, he was found guilty of armed robbery and kidnapping and sentenced to 33 years in prison. He was granted early release from parole in 2017. Well, containers are continuing to be removed from the cargo ship at the Key Bridge collapse site. As of yesterday, about 38 containers had been removed. Officials say this is a major step towards moving the ship and eventually fully reopening the channel. So far, 69 vessels have been able to move through the temporary openings. And Maryland Governor Wes Moore is launching the Francis Scott Key Bridge Collapse Response website.
Yeah, it serves as a hub for Marylanders searching for federal, state, and local resources and programs related to the collapse of the bridge. Now take a look at this site that you're about to see on your screen. It includes information on relief programs for impacted workers and businesses, traffic updates for commuters, and the latest on road closures, updates on salvage and response operations, and Maryland's Traveler Information Service.
And all of Maryland's representatives on Capitol Hill are coming together to support the Key Bridge reconstruction. Yesterday, Team Maryland introduced legislation to allow the federal government to fully fund replacing the bridge. Governor Moore is praising the bill. Moore released a statement saying, quote, "When the Key Bridge collapsed, it did not just affect Maryland, it affected the entire country. We must continue to come together across party lines in all levels of government." Now, if passed, the Baltimore Bridge Relief Act would also ensure taxpayers get reimbursed for covering the cost of the bridge repairs.
All right, 6:08 this morning in the district, DC Fire and EMS is celebrating its first ever blood transfusion done in the field. Now, this was done as part of the Whole Blood program launched back in January. Officials say emergency crews were transporting a man who had been shot to the hospital on Wednesday. Workers say he met the criteria to receive a blood transfusion, and that was able to be done using type O blood stored in the Lincoln Park neighborhood. The patient is now being treated at MedStar, Washington.
A Virginia lawmaker is going back to the classroom in an attempt to understand artificial intelligence. Don Beyer, the Democratic congressman for Virginia's 8th district, is now striving to get a master's degree in machine learning. He is currently attending classes at George Mason University. He says he is optimistic about AI and how quickly it's grown. However, he also believes it's important to strike the right balance and that lawmakers have to stay informed on the topic.
Our job on the Hill, my job as a member of Congress, is to look at the risks, the downsides, and try to plan for them. Every business I know is trying to figure out how do they use AI to make themselves a better business, more profitable, more efficient. But that inevitably could mean displacement, just as the agricultural revolution meant displacement.
Byer also says it's very important to get a handle on AI and deepfakes as we approach this year's election. And the Loudoun County Board of Supervisors approved an application for a small data center on the Belmont Innovation Campus. The approval will allow the conversion of 111 acres of the site to more than 1 million square feet. Now, the applicant agreed to install environmental protections for the project.
All right, 609 Montgomery County is hiring teens to stop illegal alcohol sales. This is a part of the county-wide compliance inspection on businesses. The county's Alcohol and Beverage Services Division says teens have to be 18 or 19 to apply. Hired teens will work alongside police and ABS inspectors, and they'll be given a list of places to check, and they'll have to attempt to buy an alcoholic drink. Businesses caught trying to sell alcohol to a minor will be fined or lose their liquor license. All right, Earth Day may be a few days away, but places all around the DMV are getting a head start.
That they are. Tomorrow afternoon, Arlington is holding its annual Earth Fest at Arlington Mill Community Center. It is free, and registration, though, is highly recommended. But looking ahead to the weekend, the Anacostia Watershed Society is holding its 39th Earth Day cleanup. Registration is open until April 16th. In Virginia, the city of Alexandria is calling all dog owners to bring their pets to Union Street for the citywide dog walk. In Maryland, Dr. Jim Duke's Green Pharmacy Garden is holding its Community Earth Day event on April 21st. In Fulton, they're going to have tea ceremonies and meditation sessions. So lots of things to do on this weekend, which is going to be nice.